Okay, we are on live. So hi all, this
Awesome.
is Karthik, and you're watching Chasing Dreams, season six and episode number three. We have Kuntal Joisher with us. He is one of the world's first vegan mountaineer to have ever climbed Everest from north and south side, and also he has climbed other 8,000ers and a lot of mountaineering experience, and also his lifestyle towards vegan is so different from what other athletes do. So happy to welcome you on the show, Kuntal Joisher.
Yes, yes. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming forward and sharing your journey. So to start off with, so how do you started your journey towards mountaineering?
So mountaineering, frankly speaking, was never part of my life. Was never part of any plans that I had. To give you a sense, I come from the Gujarati community, and
Yes.
our community is not known for our athletic abilities. I don't know anyone in my family who would even climb one floor. They would only take a lift to even go one floor. So you can imagine the kind of background I come from. That said, mountaineering was completely by chance. This was, I think, sometime in 2009. I think February of 2009. I decided, my wife and I decided that we are going to go to Shimla on a
Okay.
vacation, and mountains because it's cold and there would be snow. And my wife had never seen snow in her life, and for me, it had almost been 20 years that I had seen snow. So the single objective of the trip was see snow and touch snow. And if we
Okay.
could do that, then we could call the trip, the vacation successful. That is it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so we
Super.
ended up in Shimla, and we had a great time. It was very cold, and as tourists, we were enjoying, but we were very miserable because it was cold, and
Okay.
the heater was not working, and our blankets were bad, and we didn't expect any of this. Again, I was a tourist back then. I was not a mountain climber, so so we were disappointed that we did not see any snow, and we did not see any snow for like 6 days. So on the seventh day, in search of snow, we ended up landing at a place called Narkanda. Narkanda
Okay.
is about 75 kilometers away from Shimla on the old Hindustan Tibet highway, and it's a very small village. There's like I think what two restaurants and one hotel in Narkanda, and
Okay.
we were just standing there and surrounded by Himalayan peaks everywhere, but we wanted to touch snow. So we told our driver, "You had promised us that you are going to show us snow. Like, keep your promise now." And
Okay.
so our driver said there is a small peak or small trek called Hatu Peak, and we can drive to the top of this peak. And on top of this peak, there is always snow. Like in the winter season, there's always some snow, so you will have a good time. So we started driving, and about a half a kilometer into the drive, we actually ran into a lot of snow. The drive was 8 kilometers, but we could barely drive because there was just too much snow. And we had one
Okay.
Maruti Zen, and Maruti Zen cannot drive. You cannot drive a Maruti Zen on snow. It just does not work that way. So he said, you can go play in the snow and enjoy your time, and then we can all go back home. So both Dipti and I were in the snow, throwing snowballs at each other, making snowman, and all the touristy stuff that anyone would
Okay.
do. And and then I told Dipti, we have enjoyed until now. How about let's dump the driver? He, anyways, is trying to just take us back to Shimla. But we are
Okay.
enjoying our time. Let's dump him and let's go to the top of this peak. And we had no idea because we were wearing like a t-shirt and a jeans and a chappal, and we had never trekked in our life, but we thought let's trek. And both of
Okay.
us ended up trekking to the top of this peak for about next 4 hours in a lot of snow. I had never seen this amount of snow in my life, and I think the start of my mountaineering journey or the first thoughts came when I reached the top of this mountain. The feeling that I got when I summited this small trek, I would not call it a peak or I would not call it a mountain. It was just a 4 hour walk on a road
Okay.
filled with snow. So when I reached the top of this place, I think my entire life changed. It was an insane feeling. I was listening to your conversation with Alan Arnett, and something that he said hit me really hard. He said that when he reached the top of Everest, he felt truly grateful and he felt truly
Yes.
humble that he had this opportunity to pursue his dream and get to the top. And that he was in such, like, that we are so small in front of all these gigantic mountains. And when I was standing on the top of this peak, this is exactly how I felt. I felt
Okay.
happy from every cell of my body felt happy. I felt as if this, I don't believe in God or anything, but if there was any true heaven or if there was any God, that is what I had experienced that day. And
Oh my God.
and and what I told myself was that for rest of my life, I want to feel like this. Look, if you feel a certain way and you really like feeling certain way, why not feel like that for rest of the life? That was like sort of my thinking. And I thought that when I go back home, and I'm a very passionate technology person, I'm a very passionate software engineer. So I thought when I go back and when I build this software or when I build the next product, I will feel exactly this way. I'll feel
Okay.
very passionate. I'll feel really great about it. I went to work and I was working, but all I could see in the computer screen was mountains. That's all I could
Okay.
see. And I kept thinking, man, I have to go back. I have to go back. I have to feel like that again. I want to feel alive. I want to feel happy. And so I
Okay.
think few weeks later, I signed up for one more trip. Went back to the mountains. Felt exactly the same way. And I just kept going on these small weekend trips. Like, I live in Mumbai. I would go from Mumbai to Dehradun in a flight, or maybe Mumbai to Delhi in a flight, and then
Okay.
figure out a way to get to Dehradun. From Dehradun, just hire a jeep and go to the base village. I had a friend who was a guide there. He would just take me to one of the mountains in 2 days. We would get to the top. We would come back down, and I would do this every fourth or fifth weekend. Like, go to Uttarakhand, trek. Go to Uttarakhand, trek.
Oh
And
my God. You actually pushed yourself to being in the mountains, and you wanted to feel the way how you felt while climbing the
exactly,
first.
exactly. This was
Okay.
not like I wanted to climb or I wanted to trek. It
Okay.
was never in that sense. It was mostly I want to feel that way. And a lot of people
Oh,
meditate and a lot of people do drugs and a lot of people do crazy things to get to that mental state of mind. But for me, it was just getting to the mountains and I felt like that. I was just at home.
okay.
I was in the nature. I was at home. And and I think at some point I decided I want to go to Everest Base Camp and I want to see the
Okay.
tallest mountain in the world. And I think once I reached the Everest Base Camp, of course you can't see Everest from Everest Base Camp, but we had this small side trip to a place called Pumori Base Camp. And believe
Okay.
me, Pumori Base Camp has some of the best views of Everest. Mind-boggling
Okay.
views of Everest that you can
Actually,
get from
actually,
anywhere in the world.
Kala Patthar, they say that's the spot to see Everest, right?
So imagine you're on top of Kala Pathar,
Okay.
and it gives a great view of Everest, but a lot of the north ridge is, sort of blocked, or you can still see a far bit of like Everest from Kala Pathar. But now imagine going down from Kala Pathar the other side, and you get to the base camp of Kumori, and from
Yes.
there, when you get this view of Everest, it's just
Oh,
insane.
yes.
Okay, it's just
Yes.
insane. And 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 look, Kala Pathar, what? You are going to stay there for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Kumori base camp, you can stay for days, which means that you wake up, you
Wow.
see Everest. You are having lunch, you see Everest. You are having dinner, you see Everest. You are in evening, you are seeing Everest. You can see Everest all the time. It's
Okay,
amazing thing.
when you actually say this, the first time when you were trekking and you're going to Everest base camp and you are going to have the first sight of Everest, no? How did that moment feel to you when you are like actually that is itself a dream moment, I would say, for any climber to see an Everest at the start of the career. That would be a dream moment. So how was that dream moment exactly for you?
So I'm going to tell you where you can actually see Everest from for the very first time. You are walking from a place called Jorsali and you are going all the way to Namche Bazaar.
Okay.
Now, just before you reach Namche Bazaar, there is this place where you can take a break, and there's this place where you can do toilet because they have built this small enclosure where you can go and do toilet for people
Okay.
who. It's a long walk. There's nothing inside. It's
Yes.
like a jungle and a hill. Okay, there are gigantic. I think these are maybe birch trees. I don't know. Maybe cedar trees. I will have to look up which trees are these. But
Okay.
gigantic trees, and like there's a small triangle between these trees,
Yes.
and from
Okay.
this triangle you can see Everest. Okay, and this is
Oh.
a view which is super famous, and every trekker knows that they are going to see Everest on the second day itself. And so I was also like Everest देखने मिलने वाला है, Everest देखने मिलने
Okay.
वाला है. Of course the weather has to be clear because weather is most of the time very cloudy and you can't really see. But
See.
when we
Yes.
reached, it was crystal clear, not a hint of a cloud, and bang between those trees you could see the summit of Everest. And when I saw it the first time, I'm like, this is impossible, man. I can't climb this. This
Yes.
is farther than moon, man. How am I going to get to the top of this mountain? It is impossible.
Yes.
So, but of course there was a lot of like, man, this is the top of the world. This is the tallest point of our planet. So it was amazing.
Yes.
Believe me,
Yes.
I
I
was
can
waiting
actually
for that
relate.
moment.
Yes, I can actually relate to this moment right now, where I saw Everest when I was trekking to Gorakshep, because we didn't have a clear weather as you told, and that moment I just saw like tiny bit
Yes.
from Gorakshep, and we don't have a good view from there. So that was just I even captured it and have stored it myself, like preserved it whenever I. This the first time I saw it. It comes to my mind. It's a beautiful story as you shared, and then you told. You saw the Everest from this like triangle spot, right? So from there to climbing Everest, so it's another big deal, I would say. So what motivated you to do so? And when you were in the base camp trek, did you plan of climbing Everest one day, or like after that you planned so?
I think for me it was when I was at Pomori base camp and I saw the sunset happening on Everest. And at Pomori base camp, when sunset happens on Everest, it's like there are seven wonders of the world, and then there's an
Yes.
eighth wonder of the world, and that is the
Ah,
sunset on Everest from Pomori base camp. So when I saw that sunset happening on Everest, last rays falling on Everest, it was like burning golden in color. Uh, it was incredible, man. It was
okay.
love at first sight. And yes, I had seen Everest and I had seen pictures and I had seen so many things about Everest. I had researched Everest. But when I saw it that way, I promised myself, boss, I'm going to come back one day and I'm going to get to the top of this mountain. Uh, and back then, I did not know what it would take to climb this mountain. But what I made up my mind is that I'm going to do it. And and it is really important for a lot of people who have dreams and passions in their lives, who have their own personal Everest. Doesn't necessarily have to be climbing Everest. Could
Yes.
be creating a startup or could be applying to a United States university or something, whatever their
Okay.
dreams
Yes.
are.
Got it.
I think the first step is actually finding that dream and saying that I'm going to do it. Because
Okay.
until you really find the dream and say or commit to the dream, you're going to be wandering aimlessly. And there's no harm in wandering aimlessly. Because until you actually wander aimlessly, you're not going to hit on to what you really like or what you really want to do. Or if wandering aimlessly is what you like, that's your
Do
Everest.
do that. Yes.
Uh, that was the moment when I decided I'm going to climb it, and from there on the journey began.
Yes, lovely. So the journey started from Pumari base camp for you, and you told you weren't aware of like how to climb it, but I'm going to do it. So how was the journey towards climbing Everest? Can you just explain a bit? Where did you train yourself, and then what all other peaks did you do before going to Everest?
Sure. So look, in my mind, I think as an engineer, I like to sort of reverse engineer things and figure out how you can sort of attack a certain problem. And so, not that I saw Everest as a problem or anything,
Okay.
but of course, Everest was one of the biggest endeavors of my life. So I thought, how do I approach this? And I quickly realized that. Hmm, hello. Hey. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, yes, I do. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
received a call. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So from my side, I sort of broke down how I'm going to climb Everest into sort of three pieces. Okay. Okay. Let's wait.
Hello.
Yeah. Are you there?
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Actually, I don't hear your voice. Oh,
Can you hear me?
1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Yes. Do you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, but I don't hear your voice. Uh,
I think when you get a call, you have to restart this.
actually, I don't hear you. Can you just type what you're saying?
Yes.
1 second. I think I have a problem with my. You hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
I don't
Yeah.
hear you. I don't know what the.
Chat. Chat.
Okay, okay. 1 second. Sorry, Kuntal. Sorry about this. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Hello.
Hey,
Yes,
can you hear
yes,
me?
you. Yes, I do. You?
Awesome. Okay, yes, I can hear you.
I'm so sorry. Like I got a call continuously. Sorry about it.
Yeah, no problem. Generally, when call comes in, then you can't then listen to the guy speaking from the other end. It has happened to me so many times on Instagram Live.
Okay.
So then, when
Okay.
I'm now on Instagram Live, I just first go into airplane mode, then start my Wi-Fi, and then I go into Instagram Live. Otherwise, it becomes such a nuisance
Okay.
because you get a call and then you can't listen anything, and then you have
Yes,
to cut
exactly.
the thing from between and then restart. It becomes
Yeah.
such a issue.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Anyway,
Yes, sorry. You're sharing about
yes.
how you do reverse.
Right. So I'm just going to say, talk a little bit about how I sort of planned my journey, and
Okay.
I clearly knew that there are three things that are going to be required to climb Everest, and those three things
Okay.
are physical fitness, mental fitness, and skills. And it was going to be a good balance between these three things that was going to get me to the top.
Okay.
And so, in terms of physical fitness, I truly believe that a lot of people say, when you're going on Everest, you don't really need a lot of physical fitness. All you really need is mental fitness. Let me tell you that without physical fitness, you are never going to get that mental fitness. So people who come on Everest with a little less physical fitness, but then a lot of mental fitness, they
Fitness.
struggle quite a bit on the mountain. Anyway, I'm not going to get into what others do. For me, the foundation of my entire journey was a mixture of physical fitness combined with skills. And skills
Okay.
is also super important because uh, you need to know how to climb a mountain. If you are going to become an engineer, you learn how to become an engineer. If you are going to become a doctor, you learn how to become a doctor. I think your screen is completely frozen or something.
No, no, no. You see me now?
I can see you, but you are not moving at all. You are just like frozen. And even I am frozen. Okay. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, now it's okay. Yeah, I can see you.
I hope it should be fine right now. I was
Yeah.
connected to my Wi-Fi.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good to
Yes,
go.
yes, superb. Yes, good to go.
Awesome. So I think the foundation of my Everest climb was essentially a mixture of physical fitness and building skills and learning how to be a good, strong mountaineer. Those were the two things.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
Now the next process was to do build a lot of experience, was to go and climb a lot of mountains, and I started by first doing a lot of treks. And these are not just very simple treks; these are some technical treks in the Uttarakhand Himalaya, in Himachal, and in even some in Ladakh. So these are some tough treks around 5,000 meters, 5,500 meters, near 6,000 meters. So starting to work on not just my mountaineering skills, but
okay,
also my physical fitness and endurance, and also how I dealt with altitude. Because these are all
okay.
things that you are going
Yes,
to face on Everest. So lot of experience around that, and then finally in July of 2011, I climbed my first sort of 6,000 meter peak. So that was starting off the climbing journey. And from there on, it was climbing close to about a dozen 6,000-meter mountains of different altitudes, some 6,100, 6,200, then going all the way to 6,500, 6,600, even making attempts on 7,000-meter mountains. So tried a couple of 7,000-meter mountains. So mixture of physical fitness, which is a constant thing that you are doing throughout the journey. It's
Throughout,
not like
yes.
first year you work on physical fitness and then next 9 years you forget physical fitness. That's not how it works. Physical fitness is something that you do all the time. It's an ongoing thing. Similarly with your skills. Skills is not like पहले 6 महीने में सीखा फिर भूल गया अभी skills नहीं बना रहा है. No, you're constantly refining, revising, learning new things, learning new techniques. This is happening all the time. These are all ongoing processes. That too combined with constantly climbing mountains, which means that you can apply your skills, you can test your skills, you can test your fitness, and if you feel that something is lacking, you can come back and work on it at sea level. So it's a
Okay.
constant back and forth between these things, and that's how you also build up a lot of mental conditioning and mental fitness. Imagine when you are climbing in snow. Imagine when you are climbing in a snowstorm. You are climbing in terrain which is 60 degrees of rock and 60 degrees of ice and 60 degrees of snow. You are stuck in a tent in for 8 days because there is heavy snowfall happening outside. You have to come out of your tent. You have to constantly dig snow.
Yes.
You are climbing different terrains, you are climbing different things, you are getting different experiences. That's helping you. Sometimes it will not work. Like
Yes.
sometimes I saw difficult technical terrain and I would be very, very scared. And I would say, I'm going to go home. I'm going to cancel this expedition. ये मैं नहीं कर सकता. And then you come
Yes.
back home and you go again. You learn a little bit better, you become a little bit better, you climb smaller mountains, you test all those things, you go back and then you are more comfortable. And that's this
Okay.
this is an ongoing process where you build your physical, your mental, and
And
your technical skills. So
yes,
that is
lovely.
what I feel is truly the stepping stone towards Everest is a good balanced process, not just हाँ मैं सिर्फ मेंटल फिटनेस बनाऊंगा मैं मैंने कुआरी पास ट्रैक कर लिया उत्तराखंड में आप भी आई एम क्वालिफाइड टू गो क्लाइंब एवरेस्ट लाइक हाउ लॉट ऑफ इंडियन क्लाइंबर्स डू टुडे दे आर लाइक
Yes.
हाँ मैंने तो
Okay.
एक छोटा ट्रैक कर लिया ना मैंने तो स्नो में चल लिया अभी मुझे आता है एवरेस्ट कैसे चढ़ना है शेरपा तो चढ़ा ही देगा ना मुझे वो लात मार देगा धक्का मार देगा खींच लेगा मुझे मैंने उसको पैसा किसके लिए दिया है सो दे विल डू ऑल दोस थिंग्स एंड you don't want to do that. Anyone
Okay.
who's aspiring to climb Everest needs to build an amazing foundation, physical fitness and skills. On top of that, you want to create that skyscraper of experience and mental fitness. That's
Yes.
what successful Everest journey is about,
Yes.
or
You have actually said
any
it.
mountain journey is about.
Yes, you have actually told it very beautifully for people out there. Like people just dreaming about Everest, that is a different path. And also, if you want to go Everest well prepared, I think this is the right way to do this. And I also learned this from you as well when I was looking out for doing some 8,000ers and I was planning for my future. You also gave me this insight when we spoke. And right now, I'm going to put you through a photo session right now. So we
Sure,
know you have climbed Everest and Manaslu, and also you have done a lot of 6,000 to 7,000ers. So I am going to put you to a memory kind of a journey right now. I hope you
sure,
like it. Yes. So the
sure.
first picture would be. I hope you didn't speak about this.
So this is my summit of Kilimanjaro. This was last year, just after my
Okay.
dad had passed away. So yeah, pretty intense moment for me because I had my dad's ashes with me, and I sprinkled a little bit of the dust of those ashes on top of Kilimanjaro. So yeah, pretty intense moment for me.
Yes. Lovely picture, and I hope it is your climbing partner there.
That is just a fellow friend and a fellow climber.
Okay.
His name is Nikola. He's from Serbia, and he's also
Okay.
a vegan. So both of us were vegan hikers on top of Kilimanjaro. So it was a great moment for both of us. We really enjoyed the climb.
Yes. Lovely. Lovely. And this moment and this picture.
This is this single picture is the 5 minutes, the most important and the most I think the most important 5 minutes of my entire life. This was May 23rd, 2019, about 5:30 in the morning, and I was standing on the very top of Mount Everest, and I did it in a 100% vegan fashion. I was
Wow.
not eating any animals and I was not wearing any animals. And that is what the biggest dream of my life was. So these 5 minutes are some of the most important and the most crucial 5 minutes of my life. And that's the picture from there. And in this picture, you can actually see another climber who I think you have already spoken to. His name is Parth. So just below my right hand, you can see Parth also in the
Yes,
picture. He was also on the summit of Everest.
yes, yes, I could see. And
Yes.
that's the picture actually he posted it in his
Yes.
social media profiles, I guess. And also you spoke about like something very important here. You did it in full vegan style. That means you didn't have animals, and also you didn't wear any animals. So can you just speak about for any athlete for that matter, like people always tend to go and eat meat, and then like that's how like we are all educated, right? If you eat meat and get tough, and for any athletes for that matter, not only in terms of mountaineering. So how did you think you can do it, and also how did the preparation mentally happen? Because eating a meat gives you like mental toughness, they say. So how did you like set aside everything, and then you started your journey towards veganism, and also in implementing it in your sport?
See, for me, I had already been a vegan for 8 years, and that's when I discovered my Everest dream.
Okay.
So, once I realized climbing Everest is going to be a big part of my life, I wrote to my expedition leader and I started doing some research online. Uh,
Okay.
Look, it's very it would be smart to figure out what to eat on Everest, what to wear on Everest, and those are the kind of preparatory things that all climbers can do. It's just very helpful. So similarly, even I did those things, and quickly I realized that everyone, for some reason, is recommending that you need to eat a lot of meat, that you need to eat a lot of eggs, that you need to eat a
Yeah.
lot of cheese, and I am like eggs, meat, and cheese, and then down feathers, and then leather, and then wool. And people are saying you have to use this, otherwise you cannot climb Everest. So as I said, I have a reverse engineering background. So I said, okay, let's break this down. When someone is saying that you need to eat meat, they are saying that you need to eat protein because all you are
Okay.
really getting from meat is protein. There is no secret ingredient in meat. Everyone on this planet eats meat to get protein, not to get the killer instinct. You can get
Okay.
killer instinct not by eating meat. You can get killer instinct by having that instinct. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
There's no connection between eating meat and having a killer instinct. That does not work.
Yes.
Unless you are a lion and then you are hunting. Here people just eat meat that has been slaughtered by someone else in some slaughterhouse. So you're not going and slaughtering and hunting the animal yourself and then eating it. So it doesn't work that way.
Okay. Okay.
And then I realized that people are saying that you need to eat cheese, so it will keep you warm. And I quickly realized that what they are saying is that you need to eat fats. And so I
Okay.
said, okay,
Facts.
what I really need to eat is not meat or not cheese or not eggs, but I really need to eat protein and fats. And for energy, everyone knows in this world, every single athlete in this world knows that for energy you have to eat carbohydrates. Because carbohydrates are some of the best source of energy, like your fruits and your vegetables and those kind of things. So I knew that for energy I'm sorted because I'm already eating carbohydrates. My diet is primarily comprised of carbohydrates. And then I said that if I start eating well balanced proteins and well balanced fats, and if I include those from plant world in my diet, smartly planned, not just randomly कुछ भी खाया और मैं एवरेस्ट चढ़ूंगा ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have to be a little bit smart about it, uh, and that it should not be a problem. So I said, okay, I know that I want to do this, and I have a solution for the problem. Let's eat this diet for a few months, and then I will go and I will climb a small mountain. And if it works on a small mountain, then I know that it is not so bad. So
Okay.
uh, of course, I was a vegan. All I did was I just shifted my diet a little bit to include proper protein and include proper healthy fats. That's all I changed. and
Okay.
I submitted Stoke Kangri in on July 29th or July 30th. Actually, today is the 9-year anniversary of my Stoke Kangri summit. So,
Congratulations,
thank
Kuntal.
you. So I submitted Stoke Kangri, and believe me, I think I was one of the strongest climbers on the team, and I was super. I mean, right today I am 76 kilos. When I climbed Stoke Kangri, I think I was 91, 92 kilos. So
Okay.
I was not so lean, and I was not so healthy or anything. And yet I was able to climb Stoke Kangri and still be the strongest climber on the team. So I thought, look, I climbed Stoke Kangri. I did not struggle. I was able to eat a vegan diet. I was able to wear non-animal. I mean, I was able to wear non-animal clothing. I found synthetic jackets, and I found synthetic thermals. I found synthetic socks. So I did not have to wear wool, leather, down feathers, or anything. And that was truly my first 100% vegan summit. And I said,
Okay.
this really works. 6,000 meters,
Okay.
this really works. I should be able to do it at 7,000, should be able to do it at 8,000. Doesn't mean that I'll do it. I will still train myself, I will still prepare myself, I will go try it, and then once I'm convinced, I will keep going further. And so
Yes,
that's how
actually,
I did it.
you are an inspiration for people who have told you must eat meat and then only you can climb or be powerful as those such kinds. And you have proved like this is possible, and also
But so many
you
vegetarians from India, so many vegetarians from India have already climbed Everest. So it's like
yes,
they have climbed Everest without eating meat. Of course, they still eat eggs and they still eat dairy and those things. But I don't think, I think it's just a preconceived notion, it's just a myth. No one has had done it, which is why people kept thinking, "Arey nahi ho sakta hai." Until I
yes,
went and did it, and now people are like, okay, imagine if
yes,
Kuntal can do it, everyone can do it. It's like that. Look, I
okay,
am a Gujarati guy. I have no genetic gift. I have no athletic background. Uh, so if I can
yes,
do it, I'm a software engineer for that. So if I can do
uh,
it, of course, I don't want to simplify. You need to train hard. You need to put in the effort. You need to be committed. You need to plan well. You need to go through the journey, set all that up, and then you will be ready to climb to the top of Everest. But what I'm saying is that not eating meat and not eating dairy, not eating eggs, that is not a problem at all. That should be least of
okay,
your concerns. As long as you are eating a healthy diet, you will be fine. So it's a
okay,
non-question. It's just that it is a myth. It is a notion that is everyone thinks about, but it is a myth, in my opinion.
okay, beautiful. So and also to show you the next
Ah,
picture, I
this is
think
my
this
suit.
is yes. So
This is the
explain
100% animal free
explain
suit.
a bit. Yes, can you just explain to our audience on what suit it is and like how did it withstand and how did you collaborate with someone? Like I think it's very unique and one of its kind because nobody has done it before.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. So nobody has done it before, and can you just please shed some light on this suit specifically?
Sure. So essentially, what happened here is that in 2010, in 2013, actually, I got my sponsorship to climb Everest, and I had all
Okay.
the money that I could go and I could climb Everest. Now the issue was that I wanted to climb as 100% vegan, but there was no suit. Uh, every time you go to the summit of Everest, you have to wear this one-piece suit, and this suit saves you and keeps you warm in temperatures of minus 50 degrees Celsius, and it's made from down. Down
Okay.
is feathers of a slaughtered duck, and I, of course, did not want to wear down on my body. So I started
Okay.
writing to companies like Mountain Hardware, started writing to companies like North Face, and all of these companies asking them, can you make a down-free suit for me? And everyone wrote back to me saying it is not possible, the technology does not exist, this is not financially viable to build for just one person. A whole bunch of things people told me. And so finally I tried and I could not find a suit. And I had the money and I wanted to go to climb Everest. I wanted to prove to the world that vegans can do it. So I thought,
Okay.
let's buy an animal suit, which is a down suit from Mountain Hardware for one time. I will wear the suit and I will reach the summit of Everest. At least I will prove that vegan diet works. At least I can prove that much.
Okay.
So I bought the Mountain Hardware suit. I went in 2014, expedition cancelled. I went in 2015, expedition cancelled again. And I kept writing during
Yes.
that time to more and more companies. As I found more companies across the world, started writing them, started writing to them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and their email addresses, to the contacts that I was finding, started writing to everyone. And everyone started saying no,
Okay.
no, not possible, not possible. Finally, in 2016, I
Okay.
submitted Everest. And as much as I submitted Everest, I consider 2016 to be the biggest failure of my life because I did not submit wearing an animal free suit. So
Okay.
I should have tried harder and I should have gone and climbed with an animal free suit, but I did not. I came back home
Okay.
and I was really dejected. Even though I submitted, I was dejected. So that would be like that does not
Okay.
happen too often.
I think.
Um, but I kept writing to people. I did not lose hope. I did not give up. I started writing more and more people. And technology had improved a lot
Okay.
in these years. So I wrote to this company called Save the Duck in Italy and I said, can you make a suit for me? A suit that can last on top of Everest and that it can withstand temperatures of minus 50 degrees Celsius. Now, Save the Duck has never made any mountaineering gear in their life. Only thing that they have made is some city
Okay.
jackets.
Oh.
But Save the Duck was very interested in my project. So we got on a phone call and I spoke to the chief designer at Save the Duck. The chief designer said that she is very, very, very confident about the insulation that they have and that it will work on top of Everest. What she really needs to figure out is the outer
Okay.
material and whether all of this will work together and whether you will be able to climb Everest. So we did 8 months of research and development back and forth, designing of the suit. I was working with their team.
Oh my
And
God.
in April 27th, when I was climbing Mount Lhotse, I finally received the first synthetic suit of the world. This was top to bottom, literally a pioneering product. No one had ever made something like this in the world. So I received the first prototype of it. And my biggest concern, or actually my family's biggest concern was, first of all, this guy has gone to climb Lhotse. Lhotse is a very tough mountain. People have died on Lhotse.
Okay.
It's pretty tough.
Yes.
And this product has never been tested. Forget 29,000 feet. This product has not even been tested at 20,000 feet. So I suddenly have a product which has never been tested even on a
Oh
6,000-meter mountain. So
my God.
I would be wearing this product and I would be risking not just my fingers and my toes, but possibly risking a lung infection, a brain infection, possibly a death also. So my family was worried. Even Save the Duck was worried
Yes.
because they were like, if this guy dies, it will be really bad for us. So everyone is worried except me. I am like I was like a kid in a candy store. You know when you enter Decathlon and how you are looking at all this gear and you are like, wow, I want to buy everything.
Yes.
When I got
Yes.
this
Yes.
suit, I was so excited. I'm like, finally, I can climb every mountain as a vegan now. I'm no longer, I don't have to think about this. And so I said, I'm going to test this suit. And it's not as if I was reckless. Okay. I still took
Hello.
calculated risks. Yeah.
Yes. I don't hear your voice all of a sudden. No. I'm just trying to find out with your lip. Uh,
Can you hear me now?
no.
I don't know what has happened.
Like all of a sudden, it just like I couldn't hear your voice. Do you have? Yes, I do.
Okay, awesome. Uh, there's no echo or anything, right?
No.
Perfect. Okay, so uh,
I told myself I'm going to take a calculated risk. I'm going to go up the mountain, a certain part of the mountain up to 7,000 meters and test the
Okay.
suit. And look, if something goes wrong, I can always abandon and I can always come down. And then I can reassess what I was going to do further. So that is what my
Okay.
was. So I climbed up to 7,000 meters. And believe me, the suit was warm. It was so warm that I was actually sweating inside. At 7,000 meters,
Okay. So, oh my God.
I am like, this suit has a other problem. This suit is keeping me too warm. But when I reach higher up the mountain, it is going to be much colder. So this suit is actually going to work really well. So I said, okay, great. I have tested this suit and I submitted Lhotse a few days later on May 15th. I was on top of Lhotse and 28,000 feet. I was doing great. I didn't even have a cough. I didn't even sneeze on the mountain. Heck, I did not even have a sunburn on the mountain.
Oh,
Nothing. I was super awesome. I was doing great in terms of my health. And at that point, I knew that this suit was going to work and it was going to work in difficult conditions. And that's when I decided I will finally climb Everest. Then I'll go back and I'll finish my dream. That
okay.
mistake in 2016 of summiting Everest wearing a dead animal, I'm going to rectify that mistake by climbing Everest again in a 100% animal free time. So that's what happened later.
We are so proud of you, Kuntal. Seriously, I don't even think of somebody can think in that magnitude of like maybe satisfying yourself and also making it like once Everest is fine, and then you wanted to do it twice with 100%. That actually demands a lot of hard work and dedication towards it. Maybe it can sound like climbing second time Everest as such, but it's so hard. So let's move on to our next photo. I Yes, 1 second. Okay, moving on. Instead of moving on to our next photo, I want you to take you to a rapid fire session right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I will ask you a question and then like you know how rapid fire works, right? Just an answer with one word. Okay, can we start? Yes. So what is your greatest fear?
Heights.
Sorry,
Uh, Heights. I have a big
heights.
fear of
Okay,
heights. And
but you
fear of heights, I climbed to the top of Everest.
top,
So,
yes. So which is your memorable trip?
which is my most memorable trip? I think it has to be climbing of Mount Manaslu, which was my first 8,000 meter in 2014. Has to be my most memorable trip.
Yes, we will talk about Mount Manaslu as well in our few after this session. A climb that you wanted to do in the future.
I would love to climb K2 if possible.
If not K2,
If not K2, 100% Makalu.
Makalo, superb. And which is your toughest climb that you have done till date?
I think toughest climb has to be Everest the first time.
Okay. So apart from mountains, what do you do and what are your interests, Kuntal?
Apart from mountains, what do I do? Apart from mountains, I'm a software engineer, so of course I like writing software. I like writing code. Apart from that, just regular. I'm just a regular guy the next door. I like listening to music. I like seeing movies, and I like surfing the internet and those kind of things. So
Yes.
nothing out of the ordinary. It's just my life completely revolves around climbing mountains and writing software. And now I have a 9-month daughter. So now my time is divided between three things: mountains, daughter, and software.
So,
That's all.
daughter, like that's very important and a big aspect of life, I would say. So you told you like movies. So who is your favorite movie star?
Who is my favorite movie star? A very tough question. I have never really about it in this way, but I can tell you who is my favorite movie director.
Okay.
Not like sure I'm fan of lot of stars and everything, If you ask Hollywood, maybe I love Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. You know
DiCaprio.
the
Yes, high five. High five. Mine is Leonardo DiCaprio.
so, but my favorite director is a guy called Akira Kurosawa.
Yes.
He's a
Yes.
Japanese movie director. Amazing movies, amazing stuff. So yeah,
You have seen Seven Samurais?
I have the collector's edition of Seven Samurai.
Yes.
I have seen that
Oh my
movie
God.
50 times minimum.
Minimum, yes. Yes, it's a wonderful movie. And also, the next question would you, apart from being a human, if you want to be an animal or creature, would you like to fly, crawl, or being underwaters?
100% fly.
Fly, yes, like an eagle. So, which is your favorite climbing
Imagine flying
spot
and
or
going to the
area?
summit. That would be so insane.
Sorry, climbing to the
Imagine flying to the summit of Everest.
Everest. Ah, yes, that we actually next you must venture into all aspects of maybe base jumping or paragliding as such, so that you can one day climb from top of Everest.
You will see.
Yes, yes. So which is your favorite climbing area or place?
Most definitely Ladakh and Nepal.
Nepal, beautiful. So I'll give you a word right now, and then I want you to tell what it means to you in a single word. Okay, so let's do this and life,
Beautiful.
success,
Necessary evil. Sorry, two words.
okay, okay, failures,
100% necessary to grow in life.
okay, regrets,
None.
dreams,
Dreams. Dreams are, can't say any of dreams. Passion. Same
passion.
word.
Okay, beautiful. Actually, you completed the rapid fire very quickly, and we got to know about your personal side as well. It was so fun doing this. And also, I asked this question to Alan also yesterday. What do you consider a true mountaineering experiences? And also, how has it changed over the years, making it a commercial, or else maybe people are uh, the waste is being put in the mountains and all those. So, what is true mountaineering for you?
I think I've discussed this even with Alan quite a bit,
Okay,
especially, and Alan has written about this a lot. I have written about this aspect a lot. I truly believe that true mountaineering is what you are going to make out of it. Uh,
okay,
Many people who will say true mountaineering is all about alpine style, climbing without oxygen, climbing without Sherpa support, climbing without this, climbing in this style, climbing in that style, and Alex Honnold on and
yes,
Uli Sting or people climbing with all these things. Okay. I truly believe that every person is unique and every person has their own dream and every person is on their own journeys in terms of how
okay,
they are going to go to their destination, especially in terms of mountaineering. If you want to climb Everest, let's say that is your dream, and if
okay,
you go guided trip with Sherpa support and you reach the top, is that any less true mountaineering? I don't know. I personally don't
okay,
think so. look at
okay,
look at my background and look at the journey I have had. um, Everyone from the West, especially in Europe and US, they are at young age already exposed to climbing mountains. They are at young age
mm,
already exposed to the outdoors. Whereas so many of us here in India don't even have that opportunity. We get to do that only much, much later in our lives. Just because maybe of how our culture is or maybe how our families are set up. So for me to say that I am suddenly going to become an alpine style mountaineer and going to go climb Everest, when those guys are doing that from the age 10. I started
then
mountaineering at
yeah,
okay. So
okay,
different obstacles, I had different failures, I had different journey altogether. Does it make my journey any less mountaineering? Maybe to them it does, but maybe to me personally, I think that I decide what my mountaineering is going to be about. And
Okay.
to me, I have decided that my mountaineering is going to be more towards going and climbing in Nepal, going to be part of guided expeditions. I really like the Sherpa culture. I really like partnering with a Sherpa. I really like climbing with a Sherpa as a partner in a more group setup. I like that style of climbing. And someone may say, "अरे तुम तो रस्सी पकड़ के ऊपर चढ़ रहे हो." For me,
Okay.
that is mountaineering. Define what mountaineering is to me. And to me, my mountaineering will always be where I will not want to harm any animals. I can say to that guy who went and climbed without Sherpa support and went and climbed without oxygen. Why did you eat meat? For you, so many animals had to die for you to
Ah,
reach Everest without oxygen. So
yes.
I can also criticize their style of mountaineering, but I'm not criticizing their style of mountaineering. Okay. So I personally think, and I truly believe that everyone who is trying to get into mountaineering, they should all find their personal style, find their personal space. But please remember that this does not mean that you come unprepared. It does not mean
Mm,
that you are a mountaineer. I have done my mountaineering course. I have a very good base in mountaineering. I understand what mountaineering is about. I put in many, many, many hours of effort throughout last 10 years, building my physical fitness, building my mental fitness, building my skills, building my experience. I've not compromised on any of those things.
okay.
Of course, I would say that if you have put in so much effort, why don't you go and climb alpine style? Why don't you climb without support? And possibly someday in future I will do that. But right now, my style of mountaineering, I'm very focused. I want to
Okay.
mitigate the risk in some ways, and I'm never going to go climbing without oxygen. That is not my style. I know that people who climb without oxygen, they have issues later on in their life. They have issues related to brain later on in their life. Every single
Oh,
climber who has climbed for many, many years without oxygen, they have faced issues later on in their life. I don't want to face these issues later on in my life. Already, my father had a mental illness in terms of dementia. He already had dementia.
okay.
Do I want to take any risk? I don't want to take any risk. So I climb with oxygen. That's my style of mountaineering. If someone
Yes, and, and,
criticizes,
and I have also heard that you told coming back with fingers and toes alive, like without being harmed itself is a great success in any
you have,
expedition for.
I think it is mandatory that you come back down alive. You come back down with every single finger intact, every single
Yes.
toe intact, that you don't need any evacuations on the mountain. Because even if you have a mild frostbite, please remember that it was always your mistake, no one else's mistake. People always
Okay.
try to dump their mistakes on everyone else. Oh, weather was bad. Oh, there was a traffic jam. Oh, my Sherpa was bad. It was your choice. You always
Yes.
have a choice to turn around and come home and save your fingers and save your toes and save that evacuation and save that stress on the entire system. You always have a choice. But these people, they're always blaming someone else. I don't think that is fair. So
Okay. Got it.
I personally think that a successful expedition is returning home without losing anything to the mountain.
Okay, got it. And also I wanted to talk about in this aspect where we could see you have done a lot of expeditions, lot of experience, and also like Everest twice, Manaslu and Lhotse and all these. Like how did you face like a failure kind of thing with regards to getting a sponsorship, or else with regards to being in the mountains and not submitting? So how do you overcome all these aspects and be motivated towards this?
See, I'm going to share multiple aspects, but I'll first share a quote that Arunima Sinha told me. I'm
Okay.
assuming you know Arunima Sinha.
Okay. Yes.
Arunima Sinha is the first female amputee in the world to summit Everest. Uh, she was traveling from Lucknow to Delhi in a train, and she was thrown out of the train by robbers.
Yes. 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 I have heard her story. Yes.
And her left leg was cut by a passing by train, and uh, doctors told her that it will take 2 years for you to learn how to walk. Okay,
Oh. Okay.
months later, she was standing on top of Everest. So
Oh my God.
you can imagine the kind of journey she had.
Jenny,
So
yeah.
I had a chance to talk to Arunima. I was my sponsor was making a documentary about my life, and they
Okay.
wanted to include Arunima as part of that documentary. So I was
Okay.
like, the setup was I was interviewing Arunima. Okay. Uh, Backstage, once the interviewing was over, I was telling her how hard it was to find a sponsor and how difficult the journey has been. And I was asking her, how do you stay motivated? You had so many problems in your life. Her answer was, कुंतल करना है तो करना है वरना बहाने हजार. And that stuck with me forever.
Okay.
Like,
Can you just repeat it in English? Is that possible?
if you want to do it, you will do it. Otherwise, you will find thousand excuses.
Okay. Got it. Yes.
Okay. So
Must learn.
for me, I realized that if Arunima did not come up with an excuse, she could have easily said, I have one leg less. How can I climb Everest? Yet she did not make that an excuse. She reached the top of Everest. So how can I make just sponsorship my excuse? That cannot be an excuse for me.
Yes. Okay.
But my struggles did not seem struggle in front of Arunima's struggles.
So,
So that was
yes.
one mistake, of course, that really hit me hard. But second thing is, I think once Everest became the dream of my life, Everest became my life. Imagine waking up in the morning, turning your computer screen, seeing Everest, eating your food and seeing Everest in the roti, seeing Everest in the sabji, seeing Everest in rice, sleeping in the night, and all the time you're only dreaming Everest. So I was literally eating, breathing, sleeping Everest every
Oh,
moment of my life. When your dream becomes that level of obsession, failures don't matter anymore. Because failures, when
wow.
I did it in 2014, all I could think was, I'm going to go back in 2015. All I had to do is figure out the money situation. But otherwise,
Okay.
I'm going to go back in 2015. I was so confident about it. I went in 2015, expedition cancelled again.
Avalanche. Yes.
I spent all this money gone. Now I have spent all this money again gone, second time in a row. But I knew that I'm going to go for the third time. In my mind, I knew it. Money
Okay.
was the situation that was the bit of a problem. But I took a loan. Uh, I had some last bit of savings that I had earned from 15 years of working in the IT industry. I broke all those savings. And finally, I had the money to go climb the mountain. And I climbed the mountain and I repaid the loan. I just repaid it 6 months ago. Uh,
Okay.
I don't recommend taking loans to anyone. This is not a
Okay.
smart thing to do. Not if you are young, at least. If you have some years of experience and if you have some bit of money in your bank, I think at that point you can take some risk. But otherwise, I don't recommend this method. I think
Okay.
Alan has a really great method that he mentioned uh, in his talk with you yesterday, and that is also what he recommended that I do. When I reached out to
Okay.
Alan, hey Alan, how can I find sponsorship? How can I climb Everest? And Alan laid me a path, and I did some things from his recommendations and some things on my own. But
Okay.
again, finding sponsorship is tough, especially in India where so many people today want to climb Everest. Um, I would say don't depend on sponsorship. Be ready to climb without sponsorship. But before that, climb many smaller mountains. Build a profile for yourself. Build a name for yourself. People should know you. People should know that you are a serious, committed mountaineer. That you have done things. That you are good mountaineer. And at that point, probably people may say, "Hey, yeah, maybe I should give him the money to go climb
Well,
Everest."
yes, lovely, lovely. You actually gave a career guidance in this question itself. I would say actually that's how Kuntal says to people on how to approach anything in life with regards to like don't have excuses, and also with regards to sponsorship. He has beautifully told what he has done and the mistakes and what to learn out of it as well. Yes, so a couple of questions right now I wanted to ask you. This would be the last segment, and I think I have a lot of questions to ask, but hopefully, since we don't have time, a couple of questions right now. For the journey that you had till date, whom would you want to thank personally, and maybe you can take this as a thank you uh, piece for them.
I think I think three people.
Okay,
Definitely Caboose, the German mountaineer, first, because 2015 he literally saved my life by letting me breathe inside his jacket
okay,
in the
yes,
middle of the world. It was his presence of mind that allowed me. Uh, I was completely choking, and for him to recognize that fact when even he was under difficult circumstances to save my life, I think that was really, really something that not many people do in the world. So big thanks to him. Second, of course, it has to be my mother and my wife. Uh, Without their support, I would have never made it to the top of Everest. My father has been or was a patient of dementia for almost 19 years, and I was his primary caregiver. So
okay,
every time I was away in the mountains, every time I was training, my wife became my father's primary caregiver. She put him on diaper, she gave him food, she bathed him, she did everything for my father.
yes,
She literally treated my father like her own child. And in a way, my father is not even her father. She
yeah, got it.
does not have any blood relationship. So to do all this selflessly for someone else, I think without that kind of sacrifice, I would have never made it to the top of Everest. It's as simple as that. So
Yes,
there is no way I can thank them because thank you would be very small words.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, so them, and then finally, definitely my Sherpa guide, Mingma Tenzi Sherpa, and all the other Sherpas who are part of the Everest community and who make people's dreams come true. Believe me, without Mingma, I would have never stood on top of Everest. When I am on the mountain, he becomes my friend, he becomes my mentor, he becomes my guide, he becomes my sister, he becomes my brother, my father, my mother, he becomes
yes,
my
everything.
okay, he is my everything. And I have been climbing with Mingma for 5 years now. Every climb that I have done in Nepal in last 5 years has been with the same Sherpa, and I cannot imagine climbing without him. He
Okay,
is the training partner and the training guide that you can only dream of, and have learned so many things from him. So a big thank you to all the Sherpas. Truly speaking, if there are any Superman or superhumans in the world, I truly believe it's the Sherpa people. They are the
yeah.
heroes of Everest. They are the Superman of Everest. They are the superhumans of Everest. So yeah, thanks to all
Yes,
these three
actually,
people.
there is a documentary also called Backbone of Everest, and there is a story of Sherpas coming. Hopefully, if you guys have time, please do watch it, and you will understand what Kuntal is talking here right now. And a few other questions as to what will you tell to people who are chasing their dreams?
See, one thing: do not give up. Uh, I
Beautiful.
went in 2014. My expedition was cancelled. I went in 2015. Expedition was cancelled again. For the first time in my life, and the only time in my life, the only time I had actually some self doubts were in 2015, whether I will actually be able to do Everest.
Okay.
And I just told myself, this is not the time to have self doubts. This is the time to recommit to my dream, recommit to the training, go back next year and finish it. If I had given up back then, regrets would have been mine for rest of the life. Imagine if I would have given up on Everest, I would have never climbed Everest. I truly believe I would have never climbed Everest. So I think when you are ready to give up, you are this close to your dream. So just one last bit of effort when you are ready to give up, I'm pretty sure you will make it to the top. So that's what I would tell everyone who is chasing their dreams and passions.
Superb. So, in order to rate your life from 1 to 10, with regards to satisfaction level, how much would you rate yours?
This is pretty high. I would say maybe about 7.5 or 8. I think there's a lot more to be done, but
Okay.
not that I have a death wish or anything. But if tomorrow I go climbing on a mountain and I die, I would die happy. I mean, I would die
Yes,
without
you got
regret.
it.
This is what I mean. I would not die
Okay.
happily. don't
Happily.
want to die. I would
Yes,
rather
I
go
got it.
I would want to see my daughter grow and go climb Everest. So uh,
Hope
do a
for sure it should happen. We are all waiting to witness that moment as well. You and your daughter along your side and climbing Everest. And yes, I think you would for your daughter right now. She would have a good experience, and I hope you will guide her in the right path and way for as per her wish. And also in this aspect, the last question that I wanted to ask, we spoke about all these aspects towards mountaineering and life as well and death. So what is your take towards life and death, and what are your thoughts about that, being a mountaineer and extreme sport athlete?
think death is a reality, and the earlier you come to terms with that, I think the better. It again, I'll very categorically say that I don't have a death wish. When I go into the mountains, I am not taking unnecessary risk and trying to be a hero or anything. Uh, that is not something that I do on the mountain. At
Okay,
the same time, I know that when I am on the mountains, there are certain things that may not be under my control at all. For example, if I'm walking through the Khumbu ice fall, a block of ice falling on me and killing me, that is not under my control. I'm going to
yes,
go there. I'm going to use all my skill so that it does not happen. But it can still happen. An avalanche can come and it can kill you. Definitely. Okay, all of these things can happen. So I know that death is a reality, and as a mountaineer, it can come to me, and it's just better to be mentally prepared for it. Like you cannot be mentally prepared for death ever, but if you think about it and if you start preparing for it all the time, then maybe when it comes, it won't be so bad. Uh,
okay,
and
got it.
and I think it also sort of helps me understand that better to live my life fully and better to go pursue all my dreams, because if the death is going to come tomorrow, I don't want to die with any regrets. I would rather
Yes.
put in I would rather not waste any moment of my life. I would rather enjoy it and pursue my dreams and passions.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah, that's the questions I had for you, and I think I'll speak to you for hours together and talking more adventure stories, I would say. And thanks a lot for your time, Kuntal. Actually, you have guided me through my journey right now, I would say. I have spoke about you and I have learned a lot from you, and also I have tried to put in going vegan and all those, but I'm trying my efforts and trying to be that sort of a guy. Maybe you inspired me to do so, and I saw game changers as you recommended and all those. I've been following you very very closely, and so happy that I had you on the show. It's an honor for me to have and having a deep conversation with you with regards to mountaineering. You have inspired a lot of people, and please continue to do so, and thanks a lot for your time and joining the show.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed my time on the show and really enjoyed the conversations. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thanks a lot, Kuntal. Yes, have a good night, take care.
You too. Bye.
Yes, bye bye. Hi guys, so hope you guys had a good listen to the journey of Kuntal Joisher, a mountaineer uh, who climbed in a vegan style to Mount Everest. Hopefully, we will see you all in the next episode of Chasing Dreams. Thanks a lot for people who have been watching the show, and see you on the next episode of Chasing Dreams. Bye bye.